Hi everyone, I'm so glad that you are joining us again for our Passion series. I am here today with Kristen Karlisch, who is an amazing interior photographer. He happens to be a neighbor of mine, which is extra fun for me. But we are here today to just talk and learn a little bit more about Steven. Hi, Steven.
Hey, Carrie. Hey,
How
neighbor.
are you? Hey, neighbor.
I'm good. Good seeing you.
Sometimes you get good neighbors, right?
Yes, yes.
I got fortunate with you and Kristen.
We should be doing this interview walking our dog.
We should be walking our dogs.
We should be. Or walking around the track, something.
Something like that.
Anyway.
Can you explain to everybody what an interior photographer actually means and what you do?
Yes. Well, thanks for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
And
I'm so glad you're here.
Proud to be a part of this ongoing series that you're doing. And interior photographer is someone like myself who works primarily with interior designers. I work with a lot of magazines and I work with a lot of brands, furniture companies, to photograph their work. For designers, it's mainly stylized interior shoots, things that you would pick up and see in any magazine in a grocery store, a bookstore, online, whatever. But it's mainly a stylized approach to a photo shoot, to living. So that is kind of the basics of what an interior photographer specializes in. And then on the commercial side, it's more working with big brands for advertising purposes.
So when we flip through magazines or books and see brilliant photography,
Yes.
You're the man behind the scenes.
I'm one of the men and women behind the scenes.
Women
Yeah,
behind the
yeah.
scenes.
A lot of women in there.
A lot of women in
A lot
there.
of women out there.
So what influenced you to take this route into photography? Was there something specific that influenced you?
I pretty much bombed out of architecture school. So I was in my final year, or moving into the upper level architecture school in college, and had to photograph all of our projects for the first 2.5 years I was in school. And the process of photographing all of our models and all of our work, we were working in the studio, we were learning lighting, and I was seeing a lot of things happening in the photo studio in the architecture department, and had this aha moment where I realized I need to be doing this and not this. So I was kind of at a turning point anyway in learning and realizing, is this really what I want to focus my time and career on, or is there something else for me? And it just jumped right out at me.
It was a lucky accident that you had to take pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it took quite a few years to kind of realize I could make money at it and keep pushing till I got into interior photography. But I've been all over the place, and I've photographed everything you can imagine.
Yeah,
and
I can. And I've been fortunate enough to see your beautiful work. So I can live vicariously through it. It's really amazing how passion emerges sometimes while you're in action,
Yes.
right? And this is a passion-filled business, really. What do you think you're the most passionate about? Like what drives you to do this every day?
I think for a long time I was passionate about creating like the most amazing image. It was like that was always my pursuit was, how do I make this the best image possible? And kind of when you get past that stage as a photographer, you kind of realize, okay, there's more to this than just taking a pretty picture for a client. So the last couple of years, I've really been focused on trying to give back some way to the design community. And we've realized that if I can educate designers on how to produce and execute better photo shoots for themselves, they may not have all the tools that some designers have at their disposal in terms of being able to hire a full-on crew to do a photo shoot with stylists and florists and whatnot. Like, how can an average designer who's maybe just getting started, who doesn't have a big budget, how can they get the same kind of results for them, for their content, that everyone else is getting?
So you're making an impact by teaching, it sounds like.
Yeah, so that's where the educational part comes in, where maybe teaching workshops and doing online tutorials or whatever we can possibly do to help bring my knowledge to these designers.
I wanted to bring Kristen Karlisch on here with us as well because Stephen is wonderful, but so is Kristen. She's equally as wonderful, and you are in business together. So I wanted to sort of get some advice for those of us that maybe do work with our spouses on how you make it work. What is like the magic solution in order to be able to have the two of you work so well together?
Separate rooms.
Separate bedrooms?
No, not separate bedrooms, but separate offices for sure. So we've worked together for about 20 years. It was love at first sight, and I swear that, I know that sounds totally cheesy, but the moment I saw him, this sounds so cheesy, but it was just like, I'm gonna marry him.
Yeah.
And I mean that, and
then she made me a smoothie and it was done.
And I did. I made him a smoothie. Would you like it? Have you had a smoothie at my house yet?
Apparently, I need to. I might not leave though.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have been photographers together. I am kind of behind the scenes. I'm not, and he's kind of front of the house to everybody all the time, and it kind of works out better that way. But we've just learned that we've done it to where we've been in the same office. It doesn't work very well.
Basically, after 20 years of working together, we have very defined roles in our business life. And when we started out business, I think this is where a lot of people maybe fail or are afraid of working with their spouse, is I think early on, it's hard to define what each other is really great at. And over time, it wasn't easy in the beginning. It took a long time for us to get to this point, but I know exactly what she's going to be doing, and I know what she's going to be handling. She knows what I do. I mean, it's our roles are super defined, and a lot of businesses, I think, anytime you have any friction in business is when people are not sure of what
unclear of
the other person's role,
of what their responsibilities and all of that is.
I'm very, very grateful that I still love him and still feel as passionate about him. It's different, it changes, it's been 20 years, but I believe in him and I think he believes in me, and we have a beautiful family together and our kids see that, and you know, it's a team effort for all of us, and I think that we just have to keep plugging away and listen.
I almost sometimes think that a good marriage is like a good business. Like it's very,
oh my God, yeah.
Right? Like we marry for love and it's so sweet and cute, but then you bring kids to the mix and money and all these things that we have to really learn to manage together. And if we run it like a really well-oiled business, hopefully with passion and some inspiration inspired and infused in there, then it tends to work better. In a good team, a good well-oiled team will outperform a single individual anytime. So it's great when it's within the family, for sure.
Yeah.
So I know that there are going to be interior designers everywhere that want to reach out to you. How can people find you and learn more about you and your business?
The best place to go is StephenKarlisch.com, and that's Stephen with a PH, and Karlisch is LISCH.com. He's got a wonderful Instagram feed at Stephen_Karlisch_photo.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Carrie.
It was great. I'm so happy.
I love
that
what
you
you're
did
doing. It's, you know, where energy, what does it say? Where focus goes, energy flows, and all this is good energy.
That is exactly how I feel every time I have the delight of doing it. So I really appreciate that.
Thanks.
We'll interview you next.